Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new live session of Customily. We are letting people in right now, so we're going to wait just one more minute to get started. And in the meantime, let's play some music.
Yo, online store owners, listen up now. I'm about to drop some knowledge, show you how Customily, the best app in town. Let me tell you why, so you can wear the crown. Then you can wear the crown. Personalization is the name of the game. Give your customers that personalized fame. Customized products so unique and cool. Spread the word, don't be a fool. With Customily, the store will stand out. The possibilities, there's no doubt. From t-shirts to mugs and everything in between, your customers will feel like a dream.
Okay, welcome everyone just joining in. Welcome to this new live session of Customily. To those who don't know me, my name is Josema. I'm your host today, and together with me, we have on the chat and also joining us live in the presentation, Cecilia and Ezequiel. They're going to be answering questions on the way on the chat and present you some great ideas. So today's agenda is to talk about engraving. You have seen on the promos that we're going to be covering some examples and ideas on how you can engrave products using Customly. It's a great niche, a great market to a lot of products that include different materials and different views of the product, as well as the print files. So that's very important to see different samples we're going to be watching today. So these engraved products and ideas that we're going to be covering, we are going to pick one of those and show you how you can create one using Customly. At the end of the presentation, of course, you will be able to ask questions. We're going to have a Q&A time, but any questions that come up on the chat, we may be answering them on the presentation as well. So to get started on the types of engraving, I'm going to welcome Ezequiel to stage. He's going to be giving you a lot of ideas and presenting you some great examples of engraving on different products. Hello, Ezequiel.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jose. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us again.
I'm so
And the
excited
stage
to
is
be here.
yours.
Thank you. Okay, as Jose was saying, we are talking about engraving. And the good thing about this is that we can sell engraving products in different materials. So we are talking about those materials, and then we are giving you different products and ideas that you can use. So, types of engraving. You can engrave good products, metal, leather, and glass, but we can think of a lot of products with this kind of materials. So let's talk about each of them. Okay.
Also very important when it comes to materials, Customly doesn't care about the material actually, because the printers and the engravers usually read vector files that we can export. So it's also not just creating the engraving part and the content, but it's the presentation and the way we can sell it that I think is going to be very interesting in what Ezequiel will present.
One of the important things about Customily is the live preview. So with engraving, I think is very important. So good engraving. We can think about, of course, cutting boards. Is the everyone is selling cutting boards, but they are really, really nice. And if it's nice to see a cute design when you are like, let's suppose that you have a a board in an event, and you are eating cheese, and then when you finish eating, you see the design there, and you can steal the board of the event, of course. But I think that cutting boards are really nice, and it's nice to have even in your kitchen on in an event, um, a product like this that can identify. And of course, we have coasters, and this memory keepsake box. I have been seeing this a lot in Etsy. I think it's getting popular, and you can use them for gifts. So you can put inside the box different kind of gifts, and on even I know that people are burying this so they can uh, well keep this like mementos for another time in the future. And then of course watches. Maybe it's a nice product for Father's Day, but you can sell it every time of the year.
It's funny that you put watches on the wood engraving, which
Yeah,
is very odd, and that's a
yeah,
very interesting
I
presentation.
know,
And it's not a common watch.
but I have one.
Yeah.
I have one, and it's really nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I put it here. And then we have metal. When we talk about metal, we probably think about jewelry. But yes, of course, necklaces, bracelets. But we can also think about these dog tags in the shape of a bone, of a heart, or just a military tag. And then we have these metal cards that they are getting very popular now. And I think and they are really cute for a gift. You can engrave a message, and I think it's like it's better, it's nicer when you can uh, not just print it, just feel it that engraved in the product. I think
Yeah.
it's more personal.
The creasing and the depth to the touch, right? Actually.
Yeah, and I think it gives the product a more personal touch.
Actually, on the metal engraving examples, I mean, the tags, of course, are very common. But as we have seen a lot of customers, actually, companies that have been working on trophies for a long time, and with Customily, they can allow you to customize the plaque that goes at the base of the prize or the trophy, any kind of award company will
Mhm.
have a lot of use of this because you can put your logo, you can put the event, the year, even to the point to customize with the name of the person actually getting the award. And another comment on this, an example I saw is that um, as you know, Customily has a feature to mirror a print file before actually rendering that. So when you're doing with transfers and other kind of printings, but a very interesting case was a customer who had the Braille alphabet in images, being able to match with typing text, and also when printing the engraving was actually printing that mirrored, so the machine could actually punch those bright letters on the metal card that will be given. So actually, you can always think outside the box and still use Customity because whatever you're typing could be translated to the bright language and actually get printed, in this case, engraved. So it's a very interesting case scenario that we have seen on some customers.
If you can think it, you can create it. So
Yeah,
it's
with
really nice.
with
Inclusive
custom.
personalization. I like it. I like it. So we are talking about trophies then, but first, leather engraving. And of course, when we talk about the flask, we are engraving the leather that is covering the flask, but the flask is made from metal. But we can still think about these covers in leather for other kind of products, drinkware mostly. And then we have the journals. I have seen this a lot, especially in Father's Day, but still you can sell it every day of the year. Wallets, of course, and I think I made a mistake here. It's not a belt; they are keychains, but you can also engrave leather belts. So
Mhm.
I know that this all these products seems like for fathers or for uh, men, but you can think of other things, especially in journals. You can think about other kind of public.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to belts, you can have leather engraving for the strap of the belt and metal engraving for the buckle. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
engravings involved, and
yeah. That's good because you can combine different engravings in different kind of products and make a more personalized product. And then glass engraving. And here we have a plaque, an award, or a trophy. You can make this in glass, but of course you can make it in metal too. Glasses, all kind of glasses. You will see engraved glasses everywhere if you look for them on Etsy, and you can personalize with anything. But I think the nice one here is the ornament, glass ornaments, because Christmas is coming. It's very close, so we are going to start talking about it. And the ornament, I think, is a really nice product, a really nice personalization. And I know that you are going to talk about this now,
mhm.
so I think it's yours now.
Well, thank you, Ezequiel. Well, yes, actually, the glass universe of engravings is amazing. Um, but there's a thing we need to know about the engraving right now is that engraving is something that you can definitely sell and customize with Customily, but it's something you need to craft using the templates and the main way of creating things in Customily. So everything you know about print-on-demand providers, about 2.0 features, is something that you need to kind of leave behind today if you want to focus on engravings. Well, because most of the files, wow, that's crazy. Most of the print files and engraving files will need to be black and white, for example, or just transparent black in a vector format. But the presentation, the preview part, takes a lot of work in there because whatever you're printing black, because the machine reads black, you won't present this black. You're going to be presenting in a wood texture. You're going to present this on a leather texture. You're going to put this on a metal or certain transparency or opacity effect because it's glass, right? So working really on a great preview is very important when it comes to engraving. So I'm going to pick one example, which is the glass ornament you see there. We thought it would be like a really amazing idea because you in Customily you can have this glass ornament that can have your name, can have the for example an event and a calendar. So you can pick the calendar and you can position a heart or a diamond or whatever you want in that place. So maybe when you get engaged, you want to position a diamond because it symbolizes a ring. When you get an anniversary, you put a heart. When you get married, you put a no. Like a star. So anything you can think of, and the alternatives you may want to do with this example are really yours. And today we're just going to introduce you to a great way of creating a glass ornament. Now, I'm going to start sharing my screen and take it to my store, right? So let's navigate to our home decor collection and look for this, the custom calendar event heart with a heart, right? A glass ornament. So very important. Remember, this is engraving. This is Customily 1.0. So you need to start from scratch creating templates. So you have two ways of doing this. You already have a product, or you may want to create the product later in your store. In this step-by-step tutorial can actually run in on any platform, because we're using the main features of Customily. But very important, you need to know everything about your product. In this case, we have a glass ornament. So what we need is actually a photo, like a mock-up of the ornament without any customization. That's very important. We need a specific idea of the size of the print area, as well as the export format. This is very important. Once we're finished, basically what we can do is enter we're going to finish with something like this. Enter the event, for example, the married, right? And you're going to type married. It's going to show up there, the names, right? So, and the date. So they're going to get married. They got married on Friday the 2nd of August, right? So you see the heart can actually be moved and be zoomed in and positioned anywhere you want. You know this trick. We have done this trick a lot with the map pins, and now, or even the map hearts. But you see how interesting it is when you are actually use the same tool and the same trick on the system to actually create something very new and unique. So Sarah and Paul are going to be getting married this Saturday, 24, right? Okay, great. So let's create this together, right? So what do we need? We need the image of the product blank, right, without any customization. Then we need, of course, we need to craft these calendars, and we need to have the heart, and we need to have a specification of the product. And very important, the font. We have a question about what is this font. This font is called Shorelines, and after the live session, we're going to be, when the live session is published on YouTube, you're going to see a link to download all the files from this live session and from previous live session of this new season. You'll be able to replicate this anywhere you want. Just bear in mind that for the sake of today's demo, I created just August and September, right? But you get the idea of how to create this. So you will have access to the font. It's called Shorelines. And the trick about the font is you're going to see has some special characters hidden on some particular, actually it has special glyphs, which are the drawings itself, hidden on special characters. In this case, the parentheses. Right? We have used this on previous live sessions recently. We're going to share that on a link on the YouTube video. Okay, so we're going to Customily. In fact, I'm actually doubling back. We're not going to Customily. In this case, we're going to, I'm going to be using my Shopify store, but remember, you can use your WooCommerce, Etsy, or independent store at any point, right? Because this is basically creating your own listing. So I'm going to products, and I'm going to create a new product, right? So I'm going to click add product here. Call this, we're going to call this live session glass ornament custom calendar. I'm going to write upside down, right? So we can put a nice description, and we can add a media. I recommend you always add one media, at least two, to have this as a placeholder. I'm going to use the mockup we already have. This is the one. Okay, it's very important to have a media because it's where actually Customily will load the preview. So it's important to have an object on the gallery. Then we're going to put a price, and we are going to establish stock. And finally, we're going to, I don't know if this is important, but we're going to put just this is a physical product, which is half a pound, and click save. Okay, we have a new product created. So now, if we are getting started in Customily, we could actually get into add a personalization to an existing product. As you can see, we are experiencing some amazing enhancements. So you will be able to add fulfillments to existing products when you want to connect to POD. So this is very interesting, and you're seeing this for the first time. So I wanted to mention this when we are reshaping some things. But remember, when you want to publish a new product, you click here. And when you want using PODs and product bases, but if you want to use existing products, you get here. This will take you to something you already know, which is the link product section in the store section here, right? And automatically filters by those not linked to Customily. So we can actually look around and see and find the live session Glass Ornament. So I'm going to click here. As always, you get to choose a template and add the option set, but check it out this. When you're doing this for the first time, you get a flow to help you get started. This is amazing because you cannot miss a step, and it's very interesting for those getting started with your own products. You cannot miss this flow to understand that for a product to get customizable, you need a template and you need an option set. So if we click on Start Designing, you're going to be taken straight to the template editor. But you're connected to this live session product. So we're going to, of course, name this. We're going to call this the live session custom calendar. Yeah, custom calendar. Yeah. And we're going to, okay, so we know for a fact that our ornament is 100 by 100 millimeters. So we're going to keep it like that. We're not going to change. But if you want to change, you need to put the exact size. I'm trying to see. Yeah, it's pretty much there. Could be a bit bigger now. So it's okay. We're going to stick with the 100 by 100. So this is the print size. It's very important to know this for a fact. And then we create the page. All right. So we start with this canvas ready to get to work. And the first thing I will add actually is the calendar. So how do we do the calendar? Maybe you already have something crafted already. Basically, it's a PNG image, so you don't have to overthink that or think it's impossible. I actually went to Canva and I did it on Canva. Right. So this is everything from previous live sessions. Okay. There you go. This is what I crafted on Canva. Of course, I will go January to December, yeah, picking the information from any common calendar. The advantage of doing this on Canva is that I can actually play around with the fonts and find those combinations that I like the most for the month, for the days of the week, and for the numbers themselves, right? So I chose these fonts in particular, but anything you want, eventually you end up with this. And I have two versions. I have the black background and white letters. Basically, I have the white letters and the black letters. I do change the background to be able to see something. And then I have September. And this is a group, but it's going to be a group. The reason I have white and black letters is because my system needs black printing information. Yeah. On the other hand, my system needs, my preview will need a white information. Why? Because actually it prints on white, right? So the engraving will carve the glass, make it a bit clear, close to white. But the information that is needed to be readable is black. So I know that for a fact that on the print part, I need to have everything on black. But then on the preview part, I will probably need to have that same content in white. That's why I created both versions. I share this. I download this without background. This is very important to download without any background because you're going to be creating a product that is transparent. And in Customily, we're going to create a dynamic image. Dynamic image, we're going to extend this to the full extension of the canvas, right? So just to see things better. And upload images. So right now, I only have August and September, but ideally, I will have 12 images to upload. And I will select all 12 of them and click Open. And that will create that that collection, right? So now I have August and September. This will be smaller, so I better hold the Shift key and squeeze down by the corner. Okay, just around this. So maybe I'm going to put this bigger like that. If you have this doubt about what's printing, not printing, another thing you can do is go to, for example, dynamic image, create another dynamic image, and upload a circle, or maybe even this product base. I'm going to use the product base because I think I have a black and white. I don't know if I have a black and white circle, but it's just in case if I have a black, yeah, it's not going to work. So I'm going to stick with this. So I'm going to use this as a print guide. If your provider has a print guide, then use it. Design with a print guide is the best way possible. So I'm going to put this, imagine that this is my print reference, like that. Yeah, so this is my print guide. I need to be able to design within these margins, right? So let me lock this, yeah. And now this is my calendar. Here you go, just like that. And I need to put text boxes. So I'm going to put one text box, right? And that text box is going to be here. Make sure to be careful not to reach outside of the printing. That's why the print reference or print guide is very useful. Let me just, okay, so that's the limit. I'm going to hide this from time to time so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just using this to shape my the limits of my boxes, right? So for these texts, I'm going to look for the font called Shorelines, like I told you. Now, Shorelines has a very interesting thing is, this is the A, right? This is, I'm going to call this Engage. Shorelines got something that it has hidden glyphs on certain characters. So if we go and type, for example, we type the parentheses on the left, that creates that effect. If we go with the right, it creates that. In fact, if we go with the brackets, it's going to create, okay, that's not the one, that's the one. Right? You see, it's creating another different glyph. And this. So if I want longer strings at the edges, I could use parentheses. If I want shorter strings, I could use brackets. In this case, I want to use parentheses because the effect is nicer, but I don't want customers to type the parentheses all the time. I just want them to type engage. I just want them to type the names. So how do we always make sure we have the parentheses included? By using prefix and suffix in the advanced box below. I put one as prefix. Oh, wait. One as prefix, one as suffix. Then I delete them from the text, and I always get that. So if I were to change this to married, you see the prefix and suffix will always be there. Now, this is one example. Let me see if we are on the top size, right? So we have a maximum size of 50, but actually, maybe we can try and make it a bit bigger. Yeah, just like that. Our limit is 15. I don't think we're going to go any smaller, but never go 0. Just put unless 10, right? And now we're going to copy and paste. So Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-B. And we're going to put another one here, which is going to be the names. This one is going to be the enter event, right? Married anniversary. And this one is going to be enter names. Perfect. Again, we want the same effect. That's why we're going to keep the prefix and suffix. And we're going to change this to Sarah and Peter. Yeah, like that. I think this particular font has a very interesting effect that if you type the ampersand, gives you something like this. But I don't know if you like it. In any case, it's possible. It's there like that. Sarah and Peter. Finally, before getting to the final stages, I want to open the print guide again and see this. Okay, so this is coming out, right? So this one needs to be a bit up. and limited. Let's try something longer, like right. So this is pretty long. I'm going to change this to white, just so you can see this. Okay, so two long names will behave like this. We need to make sure it's still within the margins, so that will be a good presentation, right? So that's the limit. If I want this to be a bit smaller, I could just make it smaller and go it down. But I need to make sure the minimum size is enough to cover this. I think this is too small, to be honest. So I'm going with this, and I'm going with something like that. I may need to make this a bit smaller. No worries. Let's make it smaller and go like this. Make sure everything is aligned. Okay, perfect. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to turn this. So I'm going to hide the print guide. Okay, well, I don't need this. In fact, I may not even keep it, but right now, and this one, I need to change it to black again because I need to print everything in black. Yep, perfect. Okay, so another thing we want to add is the heart. The heart is something movable. It's an image we have uploaded. So if we pre-upload an image to an image placeholder, it behaves as any image that we have uploaded, with the fact that we don't actually have the upload button available. So we force this to be always on top. For that, we are going to create an image placeholder. Yeah, that's the one. We're going to try with an image, and that image is going to be the heart. I have this heart. As you can see, the heart is a small white heart with a lot of empty transparent space. So when uploaded, it's not trying to cover everything of the placeholder, but actually trying to fit into something smaller. That's why there's a lot of empty space around. So when uploaded, it looks like this. Okay. Now, how far do we want this heart to move? I think we want to move this within the days, without the days, right? And here, something like that. We want this to go around everywhere. We just want this to be able to pin the date. Yeah. So that box is the limit to which we are allowing our heart to move around. And most important, we want this to okay, image behavior, full color. Okay, perfect. We want this to be called the heart. And this needs to go behind the calendar because we need to move it, but it has to be behind the numbers. So I'm going to call this is the calendar. Yeah. Oh, no, this is the select date. Right, perfect. And that's it. That's the construction of our particular design. Right, we have the enter event, the enter the names. We have the calendar that will have 12 months to change. It's going to be a swatch, but you can change it to a drop down. And then we have the heart here that it will preload the same image. It's a placeholder, but we're going to preload that and move it around. Let's hide this print guide. And remember, we are still crafting our template, so we need to click next to set up the preview. Now, before we set up the preview, very important, our engraving machine supports vector files. So we can either send a PDF, DXF, or EPS in CMYK. That's all we need to get. Okay, now that we're done with this, we're going to click next and push to the second part, the preview. Now I want my my image to be a bit bigger than the mockup that I selected. So I will start with a background color, right? I'm going to put this as big as possible in pixels and set a background color white. Yeah. Okay, it's going to bring all the information. Yeah. And everything is black. We don't want this to be black. We want this to be white with some effects. So the print guide, actually, we can actually use this as our background now. Why? Because, well, basically, it's the mockup, right? So I may want to center this a bit so it looks more, yeah, more like that. Yeah. Now, since everything is aligned and perfectly set, if we actually, yeah, if we select everything, then everything can move and resize together because we already set them up in the print. So I'm going to grab everything together by clicking on Select Unlocked, yeah, and going to shrink this so it shows nicely on the mockup, but everything will be resized proportionate. Okay, I like this one. How do we adjust the engraving part? This is very important to pay attention. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements that we need to adjust for previewing purposes. One is the names. So we know our engraving will engrave in white, will look sort of white. We have two choices. We have either we can pick the white full, which seems to be, okay, which seems to be pretty white. Right? Maybe not that real. We can have a white from around the picture, but with this one, like that. So that is not that white, but at least it is more in a gray tone and realistic. But another thing we can do is pick the white, full white, and adjust the alpha to, for example, 0.8. So the alpha, the A here, will bring a transparency. And now you see that there's a transparency here. Maybe it's not that visual. Maybe we can just try and see if it's visual or not. Or maybe we can just, let me show you with more alpha value. Right, you see how this is becoming transparent, right? That's the alpha value. I'm going to keep it in, I don't know, 75. Perfect, yeah. We're going to do the same with the event. We're going to change this to white, but give it a 0.75 alpha value, right? And finally, this calendar, select the date. Remember, we had our white versions. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the images on the preview. This is something you can do without affecting the print. This is very important. Well, sometimes you see, why didn't the preview updated when I changed something from the print? Well, because they run independently. They are connected, but you can actually print something and show something else. So I'm picking 12 white calendars and showing them here. And a great thing we can do on the preview is adjust the appearance of objects. Not text, because text, well, basically we can adjust the alpha. But when it comes to objects, we can set up the opacity and drag it to 75. Right? So you see how this is fading. Again, very strong. So I'm going to stick with 75. Yeah. Finally, the heart. The heart right now is missing because, well, basically this is a test image. We're going to upload that again, like that. Yeah. So what can we do with the heart? The heart should have more opacity. In fact, it will be less solid than the numbers, right? 50 will be nice. The reason for this is probably the machine will carve less deep or less intense on the heart to create the shadow, right? And more strong on the name, on the numbers. So we wanted the heart to be there. We just maybe don't want this to be that strong. That probably won't, you won't see the number. It's the idea to see the number. So I'm putting this as opacity 50. The heart will disappear. Remember, this is just for testing. But this way, you have transformed your printing all black into something closer to a realistic engraving in glass. So whenever you're ready, just click next, and you get to see the, don't worry about the print guide. It's not showing here. This is like the full plain view of everything. But always remember that whatever you see on the preview, you will be able to print it exactly. So it updates. Whatever you type here updates to the print. That's very important. We are about to save this, and this toggle can become very useful because we are about to finish our template, and the option set will be created automatically when we save. This will take us back to the product that we were connecting for the first time, and the option set will be created, or is actually being created right there. If we were to preview our product right now that it's connected to a template and it's connected to an option set, and you see we have all the free checks, so that's it. Our product is ready to go, but we do have a couple of details. First detail, we don't have the heart available. We don't have the heart here floating. We will see an upload button. We don't want that. We want the heart to be there already selected. Okay, so and we do have some swatches for the calendar month, and we want to change that to a drop down. So I always recommend you click here to open the option set and take a look at what you have, what has been created based on your template. So we click on the top right corner here to the preview, and this is what we have right now. We have the selected date, which has, well, August and September. We have enter event and enter names and upload the image. Okay, so what do we want to change about this? We want to change the order. First, you want to enter the event, then you want to enter the names, and then you want to just click, hold, and drag. You want to select the date. The date, we want this to be a drop down. So we have image 1 and 2. Oh, okay, well, no worries. Usually this is the standard based on the images, but if we scroll down and go to drop down values here, you can click here to open and call this, well, January, February, August, and we're going to call this September. Ideally, you want a calendar to show up at the beginning, so I recommend you check one of the calendar month, just so you start with a calendar showing there. Otherwise, the whole glass ornament will show empty. Okay, so now we have a drop down for the date, and the image. We're going to click on the pencil to locate the image here. Image, upload, heart. Now we want this to load the heart by default. So if we go initial image right here, we can click browse and pick the heart. And we don't want people to see this button because they're going to take away the heart. So we want to click on the hide option checkbox, and that's it. Customers don't see the upload button, but the initial image has been uploaded. And that's how you guarantee the heart always shows up. Now, because we don't have the upload image and maybe customers won't understand what they have to do, when you say select date and you pick from the month, you can go to the help text and do what I did here. You see here, right? Drag the heart to mark the day. Yay. So having an extra text is pretty useful and interesting, so customers kind of know the way around. Okay, we are all set. Let's click on Save Option Set. We don't need to reconnect anything. This is just us modifying what's already connected here. So whenever we go to the front end, the latest version of whatever these two files will be loaded. And save it. So let's go all the way up and click on the button to preview this on the front end. Okay, our live session glass ornament from custom calendar. Okay, and now we have the options. We have the enter event, so we can call this married, yeah. And you see how it's starting to adjust, right? So married, engaged, enter names. Okay, within the margins, remember we use the guide of the shape to make sure we don't go anywhere else. And we're going to pick the date. Now, September. So they're going to get married in September, and drag the heart. Oh, let's see, the heart can actually move. And because it's an image, we can open, make it sure it's bigger or smaller. So you're free to move this to a point you could actually rotate this if you want to, if that makes things look nicer for you. That's your freedom. And that's it. That's how you get to do something amazing like this, using Canva and a calendar, using a heart that is easy to create on Canva as well, a white heart with a lot of extra space, transparent but actually there, so the heart is small, and well, a nice font, which could be this or could be any other font, and all the information about the product. That's the most important thing. And the product, if it exists already in your store, you can use the flow to locate the product, create the template, create the options automatically, and everything gets connected right away. Let's jump to the questions to see what we have in our Q&A. Once I open the Customily app in Shopify, it shows the products by product title. I need to match to a product number. Is that possible to search by Customily, by SKU? Actually, right now, the search is alphabetical in Customily, so unless the SKU is part of the name of the product, you need to locate the product by the name. Entering an SKU will not locate the product. It's a very good question. But right now, I mean, we're bringing information from Shopify as a title of the product. What supplier has the ornament? We do. We have our own factory. Now, it's okay. We did an example of a case scenario in which you're not using PODs or known suppliers. You have your local supplier, you have your own fulfillment workshop. To be completely honest, we have some PODs that are selling glass ornaments or acrylic ornaments. Actually, glass ornaments right now, we do not have a particular information on who is fulfilling that. But in any case, if you find them and you connect to them and you have the product in your store, you can connect Customily exactly by following this tutorial. Okay, I'm pretty sure Shannon and Printify have acrylics ornaments. This was a case scenario of a glass ornament. We wanted to do something different. You see there's like a beveled edge of that ornament. Question, how would you add leather patches for a custom engraved leather patch hat? Will you add them in the design section, or does it have to be on the product image base? Product image, or maybe product base. Okay, so leather patches for hats. In previous experiences, what I have seen is that you kind of you may want to change shapes. So in that case, you will be using layouts, but you will be using the same steps we took today, right? We are going to craft a print file that is black and white, because probably the leather engraving machine will go black and white. And then when it comes to the preview, what I have seen is that most of the time, if they are logos, they are single color vector uploads, and colors can change to tones of brown depending on the patch. If they are custom texts, they will be easily changeable in the colors, but it's possible. I mean, it's possible to create something like this. I will recommend not getting into the product bases and designs, because it requires a lot of printing information to craft the patch. If you want to use the Customily prints, some customers will not use the Customily prints. They will just concentrate on the preview, so they can craft the preview just on the print file and the step 1, and skip the step 2 and go straight to saving. But that's a very rare case in which you don't use print. Most of the time you use print information, so your print information needs to be align it to the shape of the patch, to the size of the patch, to the colors, and then on the preview you may want to change the color of the hat and the color of the patch, for example. We could actually do an entire live session of a case like that. When using the map or the star map chart, is there a way to make the white transparent for laser engraving? At the moment, we are exploring the way star maps can be exported as EPS files, so they will be vector and transparent. Right now, they are exported transparent, but they are exported as PNGs. Even though if you export EPS, basically it's going to embed an image of the map. In the case of street maps, there's no transparent mode, I think, style, I don't think it is. But with the star maps, you can actually get that to be printed and to be engraved, but depends on how the machine will read that embedded transparent image. Maybe what you can do is with the finished file from Customily, you can trace it using a vector software like Illustrator. You can trace that to generate the lines, or maybe your system can manage transparent PNGs. In any case, we're exploring how our provider can actually make vectors out of the star map, so we can start going with better quality and less steps into the fulfillment of I don't know, jewelry or glass engravings, for example. That would be amazing with star maps. My question is about an older training session. Okay, let me see if I can remember. And I understand if you cannot answer. It's about a nice effect on the t-shirt mockup with Photoshop. Oh yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I don't want to check the chat to address directly. Yes, we my team can actually send you the video specifically, right, Sabrina, on how to create that effect. Now, you tried with a brown shirt and didn't work. Maybe it's because it's a very dark color. It's like trying with black. Black is not that black. So if if the black T-shirt is actually or the brown T-shirt is slightly less stronger in the color, it's not that intense, then the mask with the wrinkles will show. Perhaps you need to try a mask with more contrast, so it's darker, right? But it may affect the lighter colors, or maybe you can have two different masks depending on if you're going to the darker colors or the lighter colors. I think the reason why it didn't show up very well is because you had a dark color on the t-shirt. In any case, you can always send us over email your files so we can check it, or information about your account and your product, so we can go to the backend and specifically check what happened to that mask. Actually, the mask is always black and white, is because it's a transparency. If the mask is darker or has more contrast, then the black is stronger than the color on the t-shirt. The color of the t-shirt may not be 100% black, but it's actually a very dark gray, for example. Now, if you want this to be extremely close to the 00 value of the color black, maybe your mask should be lighter in color, close to the grays. So, but that's not something you control by the color of the mask. You control it by the contrast and the brightness when you are creating that in Photopea or Photoshop. It's always shades of black and white, but depends on the contrast. It will show stronger or lighter depending on the color of the product. But you will get a lot of help if you reach out to us. You can send the example, you can send the product, we can check on the back end to see how you crafted, even send the file in Photoshop so we can open that and double check. Is there any easier way to test the output without putting the shop into test mode and completing an order? Yes, it is. Yes. Let me quickly share my screen. I think we have a section of this on previous live sessions, but it's always nice to double check. As you know, Customily has an API. If you go to your account here, right, where there's a people with a gear, and go to integrations at the center, you will see that every single account has an API key that is for Customily itself. It has nothing to do with the API keys we use from PLD providers. That's actually their API key. But this one is ours, right? So this is my API key, right? It's a very long number, okay? And what I can do with this is, well, copy and paste it on a notepad in which I can keep it safely, but also use it to create test orders, right? So not test orders, but actually test print files. When you go to our help center, I usually recommend coming to this article, and the guys can share it online on the chat. You go to the help center by picking on the balloon here, and in the search bar, all you have to do is put test. The only result coming in is how to create a test production file. This article will give you step-by-step instructions to retrieve your API key and put it on a specific code that we bring it to you here. We put it here for you. So this engraver.export file out parentheses apostrophe and this. Erase this message and paste your API key. So if you do this and you save the entire string of code, that code is yours and yours exclusively, and you can use it to instruct the system to create test production files, unlimited, at no cost, but to wait for it to render, and that's it. It's a great tool that we seek to implement this to be easier to apply. But right now, this great tool allows you to, like you said, like test the output without the need to actually place an order. Right? So you can keep your store exactly as it is right now, in the mode it is, in the plan it is, without having to do bogus getaway cart and place dummy orders and stuff. You can just use this system. How does it work? Once you finish customizing something on any product that uses Customily in your store, you can retrieve the code. And let me just retrieve the code. I have mine here. You retrieve the code, right? And you right-click, go to Inspect, and well, you will get all these elements, but you need to go to the console. It's the second tab here. You go all the way down to the end of the console, and you see an arrow here in which you can actually paste that code. And this code, you can keep pasting and pasting. You can change the month and paste it again, and change the names and paste it. It's okay. Once you paste the code and you hit enter for this particular personalization, this married Monday and Johnny in September, you get this link. If I change this to August, I can come here and put the code again and get another link. So this print file is for September, this print file is for August, and I can do this all day if I want. This will take somehow 20 minutes, depending on the demand that day. Once finished, all you have to do is click on the link, and it will open. Okay, well, this is an EPS, so this is very interesting to know. Okay, so yeah, save it as an EPS. Now let me see if I can actually open this. Right, so you see. And the same goes with the other link, right? So remember, I'm printing EPS files in this particular case, right? So it's going to open the Illustrator, and then it's going to is going to bring up the product. This great tool, just keep the code safe on a notepad, keep it handy so you can test whatever you want as much as you want. Okay, and there is. Right, so this is all layered, right, in the group. So we have all the letters components, we have the image of the heart, and we have the image of this, right? So this was like, yeah, okay, and yeah, everything is an EPS, just like that, and you can see the output and everything. Do you have a suggestion for a workaround regarding the transparency of the live preview? I'm not sure what would be. Well, we do have the chance to modify the opacity. That's a great tool. I don't know if we have a workaround, but could possibly be necessary to improve, for example. Let me see. Looking for the answer. Okay. Okay, Ryan, I'm trying to see if you have some details about that, about the preview. Well, I mean, workaround for the transparency. Well, maybe in the future we may allow opacity to be a global switch or something like that. But in all cases, transparency is one thing, and masking the preview is another. Well, we talk about the T-shirt with the shadows. That's a masking. When transparency is something because it's leather texture or it's a glass texture, that's another thing. So those all tools are available, and it's up to you to combine them the best way possible to get a nice preview. Okay, well, if there are any other questions, remember you can always reach out to us at our communication channels, support@customily.com, open a live chat in the app, join the Facebook communities where there's a lot of people sharing stuff and explaining ideas, sharing tips also. And finally, with interesting announcement. Next time we have a special guest. We have Martin from Printify is going to be joining us and telling us a lot about this amazing periodic company, telling us what's coming next, so how they work, everything that you may want to ever know about Printify. This is the man we are going to be asking the questions. So we're going to be introducing him next week. It's going to be a very amazing live session, very off the box and probably something to remember. So I really hope you all sign up for next week. Thank you all for joining, and see you next time. Bye-bye.